oh, she took my baby, she took my baby. So I jumped in the car and I started following them.
A baby taken from its mother in broad daylight. Hear from the neighbors who watched it all unfold and how that baby is doing tonight. Good evening and thank you for joining us for Fox 46 News at 6. I'm Kayla Ayers. That infant is home safe tonight after a total stranger took the child from her mother. Police say this happened right outside the family's home in South Charlotte. Tonight, the suspect faces charges for abducting the child. Ashley McGeehan is live from Fawnbrook Lane, where she spoke to neighbors who say they saw it all happen. Ashley?
Yeah, Kayla, neighbors say that it was right here in the 600 block of Fawnbrook Road where they heard the mother frantically screaming for help. They say when they came outside, they saw the mother trying to get into the suspect's car where her 10-month-old daughter was.
I didn't even have one of my shoes, and I seen her leaving, and I heard the lady like, oh, she took my baby, she took my baby. Yeah, I'm hearing this, so now I know I have to, try to catch this person.
The mother told police she was approached outside of her home by Charlorne Reed, who asked to hold her 10-month-old daughter. Reed was holding the child while the two women talked, then took off running with the child and got into a car. The mother tried chasing after Reed, but wasn't able to catch her in time.
She's drugged and then she fell. She fell, she had to let go of the car because the car was actually going too fast. She fell right outside.
A short time later, officers found Reed with the baby outside of a business on Wilkinson Boulevard. The child was unharmed and returned to her family. Now, Reed was arrested on the scene for an unrelated larceny warrant out of Buncombe County. Police say they were able to obtain warrants in this case for child abduction and assault with a deadly weapon. In Charlotte, Ashley McGeehan, Fox 46 News.
All right, thank you, Ashley. Well, Reed was taken to Carolina's Medical Center where she is receiving treatment. Officials say they'll serve the warrants once she's cleared medically. Investigators have ruled an overnight fire in Mount Morn as suspicious, and they're asking for your help in figuring out what sparked it. A little after 10:40 last night, several people called 911 reporting flames near the intersection of Alcove Road and Templeton Road. Firefighters arrived to find a house engulfed in flames. It took over an hour for firefighters to gain control of the fire, and when it was extinguished, they saw the house is badly damaged. Now, no one lived in the home at the time, and there were no reported injuries. But if you know any information that can help investigators learn what started this fire, call the Iredell County Fire Marshal's office. Civil rights activist and former NAACP board chairman Julian Bond has died at the age of 75. Bond died in Fort Walton Beach, Florida after a brief illness. He's considered a symbol and icon of the civil rights movement in the 60s. Bond served as board chairman of the NAACP from 2000 to 2010 in the Georgia State Legislature and as a professor at American University and the University of Virginia. Today, Governor Pat McCrory issued a statement on Bond's death, writing, quote, "He was a champion of civil rights in this country for decades. His energy and hard work for justice and equality played an integral part in moving our country forward." Officials have identified the Marine who died after collapsing during a training hike at Camp Lejeune. 22-year-old Corporal Alexis Alcaraz lost consciousness early Thursday and was pronounced dead at the Naval Hospital. Alcaraz was a decorated active duty Marine who had also served in California and Japan. He had been at Camp Lejeune less than a year. Testimony in the voluntary manslaughter case of CMPD officer Randall Carrick continues tomorrow morning. Carrick's accused of shooting Jonathan Farrell, who was unarmed, back in 2013. Thursday, Carrick testified that he never knew whether or not Farrell had a weapon that night and that he fired his gun after Farrell did not respond to his directions and continued to charge towards him. Friday, Officer Carrick faced prosecutors who tried to poke holes in his testimony. Carrick fired 12 shots, hitting Farrell 10 times. He was the only officer to fire his weapon that night. Secretary of Defense Ash Carter says it's still unclear what sparked a man to kill 5 servicemen in Chattanooga last month. Carter spoke at a memorial to the 5 men yesterday and said that officials may never know, quote, what combination of disturbed mind, violent extremism, and hateful ideology was at work on July 16th. The FBI has not been able to determine whether 24-year-old shooter Mohammed Yusuf Abdulaziz was radicalized before the attack and has been treating him as a homegrown violent extremist. Hundreds of uniformed military members, families of the fallen, and others attended Saturday's memorial, including Vice President Joe Biden.
These are the men made of the stuff that makes this the greatest country on earth. They're part of less than 1% of the American population that protects 99% of us.
Following the shooting, the Secretary of Defense has called for a review of security procedures for military installations to better protect those who serve there. $80,000. That's how much the South Carolina Department of Public Safety estimates it paid officers in overtime over the month following the massacre at Mother Emanuel AME Church in Charleston. The estimates cover the pay periods between June 21st and July 18th for its officers assigned to either the State House or the 9 victims' funerals. That included security at a pair of July 18th overlapping rallies at the State House organized by the Ku Klux Klan and a group affiliated with the new Black Panther Party. The department could not determine overtime for a single day. The North Carolina State House could vote this week whether to accept or reject the state Senate's plan to redistribute more than $2.5 billion in sales taxes. The Senate passed a bill that would change who benefits from sales taxes from North Carolina's larger cities and tourist destinations on the coast. The bill would redirect some of that money to smaller rural counties. Last week, Charlotte Mayor Dan Clodfelter told us the Queen City would stand to lose around $6 million in revenue a year if the measure becomes law. A church service inside a skate park. It's an unusual combination, but one that's helping a skate park in Concord keep their doors open. Soul Ride is now celebrating their 10-year anniversary. Naima Abdullahi went to check it out. She now brings us this story.
Defying gravity.
When I'm in the air, I'm just like, whoa.
With kickflips, unpredictable landings, and that quick moment of soaring into the air.
All of a sudden, you're like looking down on everything.
While they all fell in love with skateboarding for different reasons, there's one that brings them together at Soul Ride, their faith. Once a week, the skate park transforms into a skate church.
And to be able to bring that to these skaters who sometimes come from a rough past and sometimes need that guidance.
Ken Ogden, a longtime supporter of Soul Ride, says this strategy of combining church and skating keeps the kids away from negative influences.
Skateboarders often affiliated with like drugs and stuff like that, but we're just trying to spread like a positive message through skateboarding.
Now, although Soul Ride Skate Park is celebrating 10 years of being in the Concord community, they're hoping for many more years to come.
Soul Ride has withstood up times and down times and made it for 10 years is a testament to their faith and what they're doing.
And after the service, the kids go back to their addiction of being in the air.
I really like the aspect of being on your own and learning your own things.
And leaving feeling accomplished both physically and spiritually. Naima Abdullahi, Fox 46 News.
Soul Ride Skate Park is located on Concord Parkway in Concord.
I never sent classified material on my email, and I never received any that was marked classified.
The Clinton controversy continues as Hillary defends herself once again. Coming up, hear why everyone isn't convinced that she's telling the truth.
I wasn't expecting less than that. He is always taking care of us.
And one Chick-fil-A owner puts his name in the hat for Boss of the Year after he takes care of his employees while the store is shut down. Why he felt the need to be so generous is up next. Leslie?
Thanks a lot. And it is a warm evening across the area. Stepping outside here in the Queen City, still 91 degrees, just light winds out of the east-northeast. Steamy conditions continue through the work week. We'll talk more about our rain chances as well. It's coming up when we come back.